As an artist, when you initially start off, getting the amount of success as Post Malone has in his early career can be more of a negative than positive. Not only do you have the fear of becoming a one-hit wonder or only having a couple hits, but you now have more resources and more access to things that you normally would not have been able to have. One of the things that I often find interesting is a lot of people, when I usually talk about weed, the only reason that they stop smoking weed for a while is because they no longer have enough money to smoke in the first place, right? So they take a involuntary tolerance break. But if you have the amount of money that Post Malone has, then you can indulge in any pleasure, and this is not just weed, but any pleasure that you so choose to at the whim of a hat, right? At the drop of a hat. Anything you want, pretty much, you have access to it. As much alcohol, as much weed, whatever it is. Money and having stuff just essentially amplifies the insecurities or issues you're currently already facing. There's definitely something going on with Post Malone's career, Post Malone's personal life, and clips such as this show that there's something.
You know, tour is rough, and I just want to say, no matter what the fuck is going on with me emotionally, physically, mentally, being able to come out here and sing these songs with you guys saves my fucking life every time. So I just want to say thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen.
So as you can see, some of these fan-related videos do show that there is some concern for his health. Now, it's not unheard of for performers like athletes and singers and rappers to perform their sets, or even comedians do their job while high, right? Be performing on stage while high. Some are able to perform on stage with you couldn't even tell that they were high. Whereas others, you can definitely tell that there's something going on with them. As in, there are definite signs that they aren't fit to perform at that given venue, at that given time, whatever it is. But oftentimes, artists do feel obliged to perform because of the investment, time, energy that people have put in to come and see them, whether they be driving from a long distance or the money that they've invested. They feel obliged to, despite their personal issues, to still show up. And oftentimes, when they aren't in the right mental state, things and clips such as this can be shown. Now, I know that I am a bit late to talking about this, but I don't want to be one of those people that says something just to get more views initially, but ends up being wrong, right? You are part of the fake news. The reason why people talk about fake news a lot is because of the fact that you don't even care about the accuracy of the information. You care more about being first and getting as much clicks and views as possible.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you...
So that's why I'm a bit more late to talking about this. But essentially, he did recently come out and say that he's fine, that there is no issue behind the scenes in his life relating to drug abuse or substance abuse.
I'm not on drugs, and I feel the best I've ever fucking felt in my whole life. And that's why I can bust my ass for these shows and fucking fall on the floor and do all that fun shit, man. But for anybody that's concerned here, I appreciate the love and the support, but I feel fucking fantastic and I'm not doing it. There was a time in my life, a very dark time in my life, where, you know, I would try and you know, find alternate escapes from reality and do drugs. But now I just want everybody to know in this building that I'm fucking okay and I'm the happiest I've ever fucking been. So thank you so much.
But I do want to critique his little argument there, right? Oftentimes, no matter how much someone tells you you have an issue, you yourself will never say the issue yourself, or you will never admit to the issue until you have had your own personal aha moment or your own personal enough is enough type of moment. It's one thing to tell someone they have a problem, but it's another thing for someone to come to you personally and say, yo, I have an issue with alcohol, I have an issue with weed, I have an issue with coffee abuse, right? Anything and everything can be abused. So I always say, there's one quote, right? Too much of any good thing is good for nothing. Initially, this one thing was helpful to you to deal with stress, to be more creative, but as time goes on, you begin relying on it heavily just to function. You may be wondering, like, why do artists, why do people in the entertainment industry even consume or end up abusing substances, right? First and foremost, they have money, right? So they have easy access to anything they want for the most part. So if you're not disciplined with your personal life, it's easy to get lost in the sauce of the fame, the money, and everything. So like I said before, right? Sometimes you don't buy alcohol or you don't buy weed because you currently don't have the money for it. But if you're making $100 grand a show, whatever it is, a couple million a year, you have more than enough money to buy as much weed, alcohol, coffee, whatever it is as you want, which can lead to abuse. Second reason why most singers and artists, and rappers for that matter, consume or end up abusing substances is because they rely on it to essentially let go of their self-judgment. You know, as an artist, it's not all glitz and glamour. You have the constant pressure to perform and constantly one-up yourself or do better or at least maintain a certain status, right? We see it all the time, where rappers, you see, what happened to so-and-so? What happened to this artist or this singer? Why did they fall off, right? So the fear of falling off makes artists do things they wouldn't normally do, such as perhaps maybe they'll try smoking weed and they find that they're more creative. So as a result, they begin thinking, oh, I need weed or I need alcohol to de-stress, to let go of my self-judgment so that I can write better bars or write better lyrics, stuff like that. So that's where substances can essentially come into play into a lot of music careers, right, for people. But what people often forget is that the reason why these substances helped initially or were quote unquote helpful is because they weren't constantly abusing it. If you begin abusing things and using it too often, that's where the effectiveness or the benefits of it start to wear off, right? Perhaps you used to use weed to sleep, but now you use it so often that you can't sleep without weed. You can't eat without weed, right? Or stuff like that. You create a neural dependency or association between one activity and the next, right? People, before they go to work, they must drink coffee. Why do you have to drink coffee? Ask yourself that. Why do you have to drink this every morning? Is there an addiction you have having to it? Oftentimes, the best way for you to know whether or not you are addicted to anything is to go about 2 weeks. Go a week or two without it and see how you feel. Because Post has talked about it in his interviews, in his certain clips, how he's almost like he drinks quite a bit, right? Like Bud Light, I think is his favorite alcoholic beverage, stuff like that. But he does drink quite a bit. But oftentimes, the only way you really know whether or not you are addicted to something or heavily relying on it or have a dependency on it is when you actually try and quit, right? If you can't remember what life is like without coffee or alcohol or weed, stuff like that, more than likely you are addicted to it now, right? Honestly, I would recommend people just to go on a 30-day detox from whatever it is that they're addicted to. This pertains to even things such as pornography and weed and alcohol, stuff like that, just so that you can become more centered in yourself and stop relying on exterior things to feel normal, right? One of the best things to do is yoga, meditation. These two things have been game changers for me in my own personal life in terms of not being heavily reliant on exterior substances. So as a fan, as a family member, friend, you can't ever tell someone they have a problem. It's only they themselves that will know whether or not they have a problem, whether or not they need to change their behavior or their relationship with any one substance or activity, right? You can only do so much. Like they say, one word is enough for the wise, right? So you tell this person once or twice that they have an issue, and then you leave it to them to take it upon themselves to go further with their recovery and living life without that substance. So hopefully I shed some light onto the whole Post Malone shit and Post Malone situation. You can't force a man, you can't tell someone they have a problem. They need to themselves say they have a problem and take the necessary steps to overcome their addiction, whatever it is, right? But yo, God bless, much love, peace and joy. Namaste. Always remember, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. If you want to quit yourself, want to quit weed or any type of addiction, links in the description for all relevant material. But yo, as always, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it, and too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How you doing today? Hopefully you're doing more and saying less. Alright, bruv, deuces.
I know you stay looking at your life and you didn't think it'd end like this. I know you stay awake trying to make the mistakes that you made feel right.